how are you? We hope you like the way our program's coming through. We sing and play to please the crowd. We don't sing good, but we sing loud. How do you do?
This is a daily exercise hour, sponsored by the Noiseless Biscuit Company. Coming to you over station, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, open your mouth. Ah.
On your toes, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Change. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, in. That's fine, sir. Over on your back. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alley-oop. And position. Ein, fly, here. Snappy, snappy. You poor fish.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why can't get a wiggle on?
Yaki, don't say. Yaki, don't say.
Now for the next exercise. Open the window, place your teeth on the dresser, rest the left knee on the right hip, and twist both ankles slowly around the neck several times. Ready? Come, come. 1, 2...
And next, we, the Melody Buzz Boys. Through the courtesy of the Gooey Flypaper Company. Stick around.
a bedtime story, dear. So hold on to your bed and open your ears. It's about a great big hairy ape who sneaks in at night from the fire escape. If he picks on you, your name is Mud. He's strong and mean and he's out of blood. His breath is like fire, his eyes are green, and his teeth work just like a big machine. He won't eat women, he won't eat men, but he picks on kids from 1 to 10. He creeps up at night when they're in their bed and cackles with glee as he splits their heads. He grabs their throats with a hairy paw and chokes them to death and eats them raw. Then with horrible shriek and terrible moan, he drums on a coffin with their bones. You can kick and yell and scratch and fight, but he'll chaw you up till you're out of sight. Now go to sleep, kitty. Happy dreams. Good night.
And a 1 fish, 2 fish. And a 1 fish, 2 fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a 1 fish, 2 fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Okay, that's probably okay for Twitch. And a red fish, blue. We'll just take a quick peek into the YouTube. Fish, blue fish. Okay, that's probably okay for Twitch. Alright, I think YouTube's fine. We'll just take a quick peek into the YouTube. Alright, happy National Bagelfest Day, where we worship the Holy Bagel. Yay. Hey, Charles, how are you doing? I think I want to work a little bit on grass, but I think before that, I want to kind of think about what, I want to kind of do a sci-fi bodysuit at some point. I do have an outfit in the wings, but it's not really exciting me. The denim and vest outfit's coming along nicely. So I've made some good progress with that today. Let me see if I can find my promos. That's not my promos. That is my promos. Let's put you over there. So anyhow, the denim outfit is looking like that. Fairly happy with that. The one after that's going to kind of be a shirt and slacks, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make shoes or not for that, but I don't know. I'm already losing interest in it. And I also kind of want to do a sci-fi bodysuit, but I probably need to do some more research. But I think maybe I'm going to try to figure out what I want to use for the bodysuit. I got my sewing patterns. Yo, Blue Mystery 3D, how you doing? Thanks. Also, since I'm showing it off, I can show this on Twitch. This is the dirty version, and the undone top. Oh, you were previously E.T. Okay, E.T. I'm going to try to remember that. So now you're just a blue mystery. On your put the 3D in there. Nice. What was that showing? There it is. That's the dirty version. That's actually the light blue version that's dirty. And that's the doable top. Thanks for the shout out. Well, now I have to make some sort of other. I have to come up with some sort of sound and say howdy howdy to our good friend Blue Mystery 3D. Actually, let me start the command. We're going to do that first. Let's do something for you. I don't know if you stream
Chris,
or not, but we'll
pay attention.
What? I haven't got a chance to do that. I looked away and you were doing stuff. What the hell, Charles? Hey, Chris, how do you get a character to be back in the center when you rotate it? They just spin, and I've tried resetting the pose. Nothing seems to work. How do you get it back in the center? What do you mean? Did your hip get off centered? Is that what it was? Or it's usually the hip gets moved and then it's hard to recenter it. We'll launch that. In the meantime, what am I doing over here? I got my chat. I want my actions and cues. Let's do actions. I'm going to go ahead and put StreamerBot here for a second. When you select the character itself, it rotates. That basically means the center is moved off, right? So the hip is off center. The hip is off center from the center of the body. So there's like two centers that you worry about in a character. One is the main one, right? And I think you already know this. And this is over here. So, if I get that and then I take the hip and drag it back. I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. I can't see where I am. So your character kind of looks like that. But when you select it, the center is now somewhere else. So what happens is this center here is offset from the hip. So you need to check for, the hip is probably translated a lot on one of these, moving it off center. Like in this case, I've got it really moved there. I'm hoping this is making some sense. And then the real character is over there. So if I recenter the actual figure, the hip is off. So the thing is, just check the hip translations and, kind of make sure those translations, at least on the X and the Z. Hey, Rod, how are you doing? Yeah, if it's setting for a scene, they'll often move the hip over one side. I'm not sure what else it could be if it's not the hip just being off center from the center of the body. So, I mean, just double check the hip and make sure that the X and the Z are set to 0. The Y, sometimes you do want the Y moved up and down. And unless you're doing a multi-character set, you usually don't want to translate your hip on your X and your Z. What drives me crazy is people who rotate funny. Actually, people who do poses where they rotate the body. That always drives me nuts. Anyhow, how are you doing? How's Joe today? Happy Bagelfest, by the way. Other than that, I'm not sure what else it could be causing it off the top of my head, Charles. Okay, we're going to quickly do a blue mystery shout out here. Yo, Napsmore. Yeah, pretty much what you said. Basically what Napsmore does. My brain stopped. I'm going to do a command. We're going to set up a holding place. You know what? I'm going to have it shout out, say how to our good friend. We'll have it do a shout out to your Twitch page, even though, let's see, what do we get here? I just clicked on the wrong thing. Never mind. And thank you for that shout out there, Mr. Charles. Where's Blue Mystery 3D? There we go. Let's click on that and it opens up the Oh, you do have some clips and stuff in here. I'm gonna hit a follow. There we go. One more follow and you got 69, dude. At least I think, or maybe it's two, one or two more. What are we doing here? We're going to add a new. I'm going to take the. Can I just duplicate you? We'll just duplicate our emerga. Actually, I'm going to. Yeah, we'll just duplicate the emerga command. We'll create a command. We'll call this blue. And I think, do I just type? I forget how to do all of this. I think I can do okay on that. Say okay with that. This should now run the emerga command. We're just double checking. Okay, so now we're going to edit that so it doesn't run the emerga command. At some point we'll swap this out. I'm going to leave the beer pouring in for now. And then we're going to just give a big howdy. Give a big howdy to Blue Mystery 3D. And I'll just put that there. I'll refine this, but at least I'm getting a start. All right, we'll copy that. We'll say okay, and then we'll set up the Twitch message. And then at some point I'll have to come up with a sound for this. Ooh, woo. You know, actually, it's in the process. Oh, your Twitch page. You have a link for your not safe for work desk store. Oh, cool. I should probably, because I have the link to the. I'm clicking on the wrong place. Here. Check them out on Twitch. And they're not safe for work shop. Remind me not to check that out on stream. I gotta come over here. Nope. YouTube didn't see that. Why is YouTube not seeing the chats? Did my YouTube bot stop or something? I'll have to look into that. Say la vie. I'm not going to worry too much about it. What are these notifications? Yeah, I'm ignoring those. Sorry. There was the link there, but I can't copy it off. Actually, can I just copy this? No, I can't copy out of that chat window there. Wah, wah. I think I can copy it over here. And we'll put that in there for now. And then let me copy and paste this over to the other. Although, I don't know, it looks like for some reason my YouTube messages aren't being broadcast over. Say okay to that. Put that over here. Say okay to that. I'm going to go. This is the reason why I pay money to Elements and Vado, so I can use sounds. So let me see if I can find a sound. And we are looking for. Do I want to do? I want to do sound effects. I think. Hey, Chris, Daz must be Daz because you cleared the scene, but the character back in and hit control, and it's working like it's supposed to. Maybe she got parented to something else. I don't know. Um, Actually, let's see. If I type in blue mystery, what do we get? Anything? Nope, dark mystery. And what I need to do is I need to. Am I not seeing the options for rights? I'm always tripping over rights, so I want to make sure I'm using the right one. And I just clicked on the wrong damn thing. Um, I'm not seeing the option here. Dark mystery. Nope. Electro Boo. You know what? Let's see what the usage is on that. Is it listed? You know what? I'll try this and I'll see if YouTube or something flags me for this. So I'm going to download that. I'm going to run over to my download directory on screen 2. That's not screen 2. Here's screen 2 over there. I'm going to grab that sound I just downloaded. Copy that. Let me take a look at what we're doing here for the... So right now I'm using the... So I'm going to swatch that. So I'm going to stick this into here, but it'll be a different file. You are in online Twitch, Chris L. Cox, sound bits. So I'm looking for my sound bits folder over there. Sound bits. I'll just dump this in here, paste. What do we got? I got one sound. It's a WAV file. Let's see if this works. Where did you go? I lost it. Date modified. Blue tweak transition wave. There we are. And am I in the right spot? New volume, online, Twitch, me, sound bits. Yep. I am looking for 06 to that one right there. Okay. All right, now we got a command set up. I still have to do SRAM someday. Let's see how this works. And we're just going to go with blue for now. And I misspelled blue. That's about par for the course, isn't it? I hope you all heard that. I'm going to put you back away. Sure. You show up too many times and I give you a command. All right, we're going to put that away. What am I doing? I'm looking at bodysuits and I want to take a look at, I want to make sure I'm not inadvertently copying what I did before. So I'm going to take a look at the action outfit I made a while ago, if I can find it. I should probably just look under my own name, right? Just so I can remember what I'm doing. I'll know it when I see it. Have I gone too far? Is this just not in order? I think I went too far. I must have gone right past it and didn't recognize it. Go a little bit slower and pay more attention now. You know what I should do is I should search like this way instead of just by my name. Oh, I don't see nothing because it hit everything I own, and I own it all. So I have to kind of remind myself what I did previously so I'm not inadvertently just copying the same thing. At least making a point to be a little bit different. All right, that's what we did before. I'm not going to do wedge boots this time. You know what? I'm going to do. It's going to be more sci-fi. I'm going to have boots that are going to come up to about here, I think. And maybe I'll add gloves, which means I'm probably just going to steal gloves from another outfit. And I kind of like this. Is that belt a separate piece, or how did I do that? I'm going to have kind of a built-in belt, I think, which means I'm just going to put a buckle on top. And I think I'd like this one. I think I am going to have a seam that'll come down the front and open up. So, I mean, and then I'm going to restyle. I think we'll add more lines and we'll do more on the legs and the sleeves. And I probably have something over the shoulder instead. Although maybe today I'll just work on the boots. So I'm going to get my low poly boot form and try to work out something for that. So I think we're going to work on boots for a while, and then maybe we'll switch over and work on grass. I do want to make some grass, which is basically just going to be plains with a grass blade on it. So let's get Blender going here. Let me see if I can find my old low poly boot, and we'll go from there. You're not Blender. You're not my Blender. You're my Blender. Okay, there we go. Get rid of the default queue. I know you can save a scene so it doesn't load up. 7 years later, I still haven't bothered to do that. Okay. File, and we'll do open. Don't save. I'm going to come up here. I have a shoe folder somewhere. We'll start with that. And we'll see what I've got sitting in here. I haven't actually opened this up in a little while, I think. Low poly base. I think low poly base is where I'm going to start, and then we'll save from there. And that's not what I want. I think those were the shoes from the pageant heels. So I have these. I'm going to keep those. I have the boot base. That's what I'm looking for right there. I want that. And we're going to fit that to a, well, the way I've been working is I fit stuff to G9 to start with. So we'll do that. Do I have other versions of that? You know what? I'm going to start with this one and we'll go from here. I want to get this up above the knee. We're going to take this stuff off the bottom. I think I need to rotate that. So I'm going to go ahead and save you somewhere. And we're going to delete a bunch of stuff out of here, like these heels and things. Let's do a save as. Do I have a sci-fi? I'm in the shoe folder. Let's come up here. Do I have a sci-fi folder? And you know what? I'm going to stick this in action. Action spy, action gear. What do we got in here? Nope. Maybe, do I have, what do I have for sci-fi? And I got to come up with a name for this sci-fi stuff. Yeah, we'll put it in here for now. I don't know what I'm going to call this, but I'll just call this sci-fi suit for now. And we'll just put a whip folder in here. And I'll just say, we'll just call this sci-fi boot. Yeah, we'll save that right there. So I'm going to keep that. So I don't think, can I just delete you? Yep. I should delete hierarchies though, shouldn't I? X, that's what I'm looking for. X, 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 X. I don't need all of this because I'm just going to start with that. I'm not going to need this just yet. Actually, let's keep that in here. All right, let's straighten you up. RY6, wrong way. RY minus 6, that straightens that up. Let's figure out what do we want as far as these feet goes. So we'll just turn all of this stuff off and I'll just figure out how far I want the toes bent. So that's flat. I'm not going to do flat. I think a little bit more than that. I think I'm going to go with that. Which means that I don't really need the rest of these. I'm going to keep the two there near in case I change my mind on the angle. Okay, and then we'll just take a look at, don't need that, don't need that. That one, probably not. That kind of lines up. Although I'll really end up just using, so let's clean these out. Okay, so this is what we're going to work with. Let's just tab, Control A. And kind of get this started on here. I'm going to lose the bottom of this and we'll put the sole in later. So I'll start and we'll just expand that till I'm there. And we'll just delete all of those faces. And the idea is I'm going to pull this down so it fits a little better and then we'll adjust the toe to match. Actually, you need to go away too. I don't need you right now. I'll probably add that back in later, but for right now, somewhere about there maybe. Okay, let's bring the toe up a little bit. About in there. I'm gonna flatten these out. I didn't want that to go all the way around. I think I'm going to tweak you a little bit over here. And And you know what? I'm going to delete half of this off. Um, Actually, I'm going to want to come up to about here somewhere. I could have controlled all that. Okay, back to the boot. I'm going to make sure that front's flat. I selected something I didn't mean to select. I want that, and that. Okay, so that is flat. That's going to work. I'm going to flatten these. Probably good. Okay, I'm going to lower the detail level on this just a little bit. I'm going to get rid of that and that. And I'm going to remove some of that stuff from the top. We're just going to dissolve these edges out. And I'm going to delete down to there. Is it? I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. We'll refine later. Um, are you flat, by the way? You are now. Yep, I hear a delivery truck. I'll be right back. this what I want? Something like that, maybe. I think what I want, there's a, let me see what my tools are. I want to get that into a nice straight line. Let's see if there's the, I mean, can we just G-stretch that and switch that to project? That didn't do it. Spread evenly. Spread. Let's try that again. But we'll use the, we'll see how the locks work. Loop tools. So G stretch. If I lock the Y, that kind of does what I want it to do. Although I don't want that. I do actually do kind of want that to pop. We'll tweak this a bit. No, I don't like that. I do kind of want to. So maybe if I do it from view, and then we'll just scale and whatever. And I'm in the wrong. Let's come back over here and tab in and set the view up like that. And do I want to do it from view? And the red is the X, so scale on the X. Is that, so I can kind of align that like so. And it's kind of janked that up, didn't it? What if I, looks like spam. We'll just relax these and see what that does. I kind of like that. Can I do multiples at once? Well, if I do that, it's gonna, actually, let's try this. Yeah, those are kind of better. I want to do something on the knee, and I haven't quite decided what. Which means I probably want to get that straightened a bit more. Oh, I'm doing on the view, aren't I? Let's switch you back to global. And then scale on the Y. And I'm thinking of putting some sort of, I don't know. I'm never really great at designing stuff. I want to put details in here. Well, let's block out the, let's do the easy stuff. Let's get the sole fixed up. Let me see if we can I just grid fill you like so and add a span like that. And then I want to straighten that out. If I do a G stretch just on the X, maybe that'll give me what I want. That kind of gives me what I want. Hey, Willie, how are you doing today? Although maybe I want to put that back heel. I'm making boots. Yeah, I think maybe like that. Which means I want to adjust these and I want to turn you off. Um, and I am gonna, I want to move that point somewhere. I'm gonna G stretch. I'm just gonna G stretch these across. That didn't, you know what? It's because I got the locks on. Logging in from Germany. Oh, you're over in Germany. That's right. You're on the road. On the road with Willie and crew. All right, let's pull this down and make a sole. Let me put my face orientation just to make sure that we don't inadvertently have flippy normals. Vacation. Yes, sir. Staying there for a week. Sounds good, man. I think I'm going to pull this up a little bit right in here. 7 consecutive streams. Look at you. Yeah, I want to flatten this out. But actually, to do that, I'm going to move. I want to move this up first, so it's a little more in line, like that. And then I'm probably going to pull these down a little bit so that I'm not clipping. I'm creating more of a heel than this actually deserves, or actually should have. Or, you know, I'm flattening it out more than it probably should be. That's what I mean to say. Yeah, this is going to be a sci-fi bodysuit. So I'm starting with the boots because I have no idea what I really want to do. So I guess I'm just jumping in here and doing stuff. You know, I'm going to flatten that out. Pretty much. Get in here, start making stuff, and see where we end up. So I do know I want boots, so I'm going to start with just doing some flipping boots. And we do know we want a heel in there. And then we know we want a heel cap in there. And I know I want that to kind of line up with the front like so. And then I want this to be kind of that thickness there. And I know I don't want it to be shaped like that. So we're going to either move this. I think we'll move these. Let's see how this works out. We'll take this edge here and maybe bring it about. And then maybe I'm going to pull this one out a little bit. So I get a heel shape like that. Well, I'm going to do a bodysuit, so I'm pretty sure, and I kind of have an idea of what I want to do with the sci-fi. I sort of have an idea, but I don't know. I'll play around with it. But I figured I'm going to need boots, so I figured I would work on boots for a while. I still want to make some grass today. Oh no, that's starting to... And let's straighten... Can we just straighten you up, maybe? I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did... We'll try the G stretch this, but on the, see how this works out. We'll lock those. I think that gives kind of a slightly better line. Well, of course there'll be naughty morphs. I'm going to have another one that's going to unzip down the front. It'll have kind of a utility belt thing. It's kind of like an action outfit that I already did, but with a different kind of design. More of a sci-fi feel. So I just have to kind of figure out... There was a smoothing tool that I remember, I saw this. Our good friend Plobby is doing shorts on YouTube, and I'm catching those. So there's one of the smoothing tools that he did something with, and I forget what it was. You like that, mug rod? And I forget what it was. Oh no. There's a smooth out irregulars. There's like a smooth, but it keeps the volume. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go look for Plobby on YouTube and see if I can find this, because I already forgot what it was. I don't want to go there. I want to go there. And we're going to look for our friends. So if you aren't following Plobby on Twitch and Plobby on YouTube, I highly recommend it. Plobby 3D. Super cool cat. There it is. Shorts. Tips for making blender less hard. I'm going to just bring that up. Here's Plobby's YouTube. I'll just link to the shorts, but you can figure out the rest from there. And there was one fixed topology brush. That's what I think it was. Let me turn the... Can I not hear? Am I not hearing this?
Topology of a model look a lot healthier. It's a tool I wish I knew about years ago that is basically a brain-dead easy way to make the topology of a model look a lot healthier. So here you'll see I have a model where the topology is more or less fine, but it does look a little cursed. We're gonna go into sculpt mode. We're gonna wanna turn on the wireframe overlay for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Most brushes, when you hold down shift in sculpt mode, it smooths out the brush and just like crushes the model. We don't want that. Unlike the other brushes, the relax slide brush.
Relax slide, that's what we're looking for. Okay. I don't know. We'll just see. Can I type in here? I can't. Look at that. Relax slide brush. Is that you? That's relax pinch. That's relax slide. Let's give that a go. Where did he do the thing with the wireframe? Because
Did you know that this is a tool I wish
stuff.
I knew about years ago that is basically a brain-dead easy way to make them to sculpt mode? We're going to want to turn on the wireframe overlay for this.
Viewport overlays. All right. I always forget where that is. It's one of these though. Overlays. Viewport overlays. What did he click on? Wireframe. I have a multi-res modifier on there, don't I? I do. I don't want to see that at this point. I want to see this. Let's see how this works. And then what does he do?
So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Most brushes, when you hold down shift in sculpt mode, it smooths out the brush and just like crushes the model. We don't want that. Unlike the other brushes, the relax slide brush does a volume preserving smooth. Watch this.
Let's try that. And maybe we make you larger. I kind of like that, but I got to use it sparingly. How do I rotate? I want to try to use it up in here. Let's see how this works out. That's not quite. Let me see.
When I'm holding down shift, it's preserving the actual.
He's holding down the shift. Okay, if we hold down the shift, I'm just going to go up through there. It's like suddenly I can't remember how to use this stupid program. That was a little too far. Trying to just smooth that out a little bit right through there. And then fix that. I'll probably slide that back down. And then I just want to smooth this out just a little. I'm trying to make these lines right through here a little more even. That's pretty close, although I want to move you. So we'll go back to edit mode. And I'm just going to slide this back down. And maybe pull. Hey, say, tell your daughter I say hi back. Hi, Willie's daughter. I think we're getting. I just have to decide what I really want to do with this. I'm going to give it some colors. Got to go play with the kids. See you next time. Hey, thanks for being here, Willie. We will catch you later, buddy. I don't know. Let's just call you Boot. You know what I'm thinking is I'm going to maybe put an angle. This comes up here. Maybe bring this up through here. Through that. Can I space these out more evenly? I think there's a way to do that, right? Space. and space. And space. So I think I'm going to pull something out of this. That maybe pull an element that'll maybe pop up about here and run up to there. I don't know. Let me try. Let me see what I'm thinking. So if we do, that was the wrong button. So I'm kind of thinking doing an element like that. Maybe I'm not in edit mode. Now I'm in edit mode. Maybe. Oops, I still have the add a little something like so. I'm going to slide. I'm going to give a little more shape to this. I think. Pull you back a little like so. Maybe pull these two back. Maybe give myself a little bit more. Dang it. Too much. Maybe just a little bit. I think I'm going to bring the bring this back. Actually, let's do. I'll just scale that down a little bit more. Slide you up a bit. Oh, I grabbed the wrong line. No, I want to take that in, but there's a tool for this. I want these to be sunk. I'm not in the edit mode. So I want these faces. So I want this, and these. I want to sink them in, and there's a way to do that without avoiding bad geometry. This was another Plobby tutorial. I think it was kind of, if I do that, there's a way to do it, and nope, that wasn't it. I don't know. I saw it where you can do the extrude, but inward. And I forget what that was. Bevel edges, loop edges. Nope. Control F. Extrude along normals. But when you go in, there's a way to do that without getting the weird geometry. And I don't remember what that was. Of course, this hasn't got that much weird geometry, but I do have to make this all a little bit larger now. I can't easily just delete that. That's the weird stuff right there. And that gives me a little bit more. I don't know, maybe I pull these guys out a little bit. I'll put some creases in here to make it look a little sharper. So, all right, we want to crease you. We want to crease the bottom here. I should see that over here somewhere, right? Or do it? It's in. Is it in tools? It's an item. It's an item. Increase those. Increase those. Yeah, I had a feeling I didn't get all the way around there. All right, looking good. Add some creases into here and here. Add a crease through here and here. And then through here and here. There and there. 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 Coming around to the other side. This. That. That. It's probably. Got it. Okay. Which means I probably missed the one over here. Right in there. All right, I'm making progress. You. And you. I might end up creasing these as well, but I don't. It kind of allows a nice, interesting shape when it's not creased on that. So I'm thinking about leaving that as is. Although right there's kind of, I don't know. I probably should crease them up because it's just giving me some weirdness. Or maybe, nope. I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's see how it looks if we crease these edges like in here. We'll do these a few at a time. Oh, I didn't crease you. What happens if I just crease that one? Yeah, that's what I thought. What happens if we just crease that one? That's what that wasn't too bad. I'm going to crease them both. And you're not. I'm going to uncrease this because I like that shape. And then maybe see if I do that, it'd be nice as this. I might have to figure out a way to get this to move. Actually, see, I don't like that. So what I may do is pull these down or something. And then later on in life, put a bevel or something on them. That's not too bad. Let me put something interesting in parts of these. So I'm just going to do an inset. So I can kind of do that. And then we can just do a little extrude in there. So I got a couple of, put a crease through there and a crease through there. See, that gives me a nice shape there. Maybe I can kind of do the same thing here and here. Or do I want to maybe do, I don't know, let's try this. I'm going to have to do these one at a time. So I'm going to pay attention to what I'm insetting. Here's my thickness, 0.005. We'll do that and say okay. And then I'll do the same thing. 0.005, like so. And then we can take both of these and extrude. And we'll put creases along the top and the bottom edges. Oh, must have been more spam. Spam, 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 spam. All right, let's see what we got now. All right, that had some interest. You know what? Let's I'm going to go ahead and add it to the back part. And I don't know if I'm going to add any more. What if I put it in here? I'm thinking I'm not going to, I'm thinking I'm hating this already. Or maybe not. I can live with that. That looks interesting. All right, let's try these. I can do these in two groups at once, I think. And select, oops, I can't. So select that, this and that and that and that. I'm probably overdoing it. All right, I still got to get it to fit. All right, let's do a little proportional editing. And we're just going to kind of pull bits around. Kind of like so. There's a way to see my sub Ds inside. Let me see if I can remember how it is. I gotta Google this. Blender see modifiers in edit mode. Did I just type that all in caps? It looks like I did. How to display modifiers in edit mode. Here's how to enable them. How do I make edit? Let's take a look at that.
Some modifiers are not displayed anymore as soon as we tap into edit mode. If you still want to see them, however, you can just enable those two boxes in order to still...
Alrighty. I don't have those two boxes. They moved it. Is that it right there? Am I too... Nope. Do I have to do it out here? See active modifier. That's not doing. Nope. That didn't do it. Uses modifier list add-on, which allows you to manage modifier. Nope. See Blender. See subdivisions in edit mode. Let's see if the Reddit here has anything to do with it. I'm not seeing it right off the top of my bat. I'm taking too long to read all this. I don't know. Let's. Where am I clicking on the wrong thing here? Okay, you know what? I think I'm getting in the ballpark here. Let's just add a little bit of thickness to right around here. And let's not do that with proportional editing. There we go. That just gives me that. And I'll just pull that down. We get a little bit of an edge going on there. We'll just put a little bit of crease on those. And that needs to be moved a little bit. These two could probably stand a little bit of. It's probably good for now. Add modifier. I may or may not sculpt on this. We'll see. What am I doing? I'm going to generate. We're going to do a mirror. I'm going to do a Shift A and all transforms. And we're going to make sure that we have the mirror UVs selected, so our UVs will get mirrored. I think maybe I can go ahead and set up some seams real quick here. And you know what I don't need to see is I don't want to see my creases, because I want to be able to, it's just easier for me to work on it like this. So mark a seam there, mark a seam there. I want to mark a seam through there. And we're going to want to mark seams down here. And we'll mark a seam right there. And I'll mark a couple of seams right there. Is good. All right, we'll put a seam there. And I think I'm going to drag a seam to here. And let's put the seam there, there, and through here. Missed. Oops. And where do I want you to go? I want you to come along through here. And I want you to loop around through there. You're going to come down through here and here and back up this way and across the top and there. At some point, I probably should right click and mark seams just so I don't lose all the stuff I've clicked on. I don't know. Do I want to seam you? I guess I could put a seam there. Actually, no, we're not going to put a seam there. I'm going to undo that. And actually, let's just mark seam there and over. Yep, that's probably good. And we'll run one along the back. And I'll run through there. I don't know, let's see how we're looking. We're almost there. I seem to have something connected over here. Let's see if I can figure out where you are. You look like you're connected to something. Oh, I thought I put a seam there. This is what's confusing. I'm seeing my sharps again because I switched scenes. So let's see if we can fix that. I just want to see the seams, and that way I can see what I missed. I missed that right there. And can I not? There we go. All right, do we have any others that are looking weird? I think everything else is kind of coming apart like I had anticipated. Kind of like that. Oh, I got something. This row right here is glued in funny. Oh, you know what? You're not supposed to be. Clear that seam, and I'm going to put a seam here. And then what I probably want to do is probably put little seams on these edges. See, that's looking better. And then I probably want to add a few more like on these edges, which I think is buried down in these corners here. And unfortunately, I can't right click. I have to actually go to the menu and do this. Mark those as seams. And I'll do the same thing over here. We'll just get these corners. And I want to do the same thing. I think those are good, but I'll put a couple on these corners right here. All right, let's see how this is going. Not too bad. Okay, because we've got two boots, we're going to want to flip this, so I want this only generating in half. This is where UV Packmaster comes in. We'll go over to Advanced Packing, and we'll go to Custom Target Box. And what I want, I could just type in the box coordinates. So I want this to be 0.5 instead of 1. And then we'll pack that, and it should come in over here. And now when we, and now the mirror should mirror over the other side, so that other side. So I think that's kind of good for the boots. I might rework the shape of the toe a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. I've got something going on here. And then maybe tomorrow we'll work on the bodysuit. Maybe I can get a better idea of what I want to do with that. I know I do want to use one of my, I purchased 2 sewing patterns. And it's funny that the patterns themselves aren't that useful, but it comes with nice instructions. Let me see if I can remember where I put those. I used one of them for the action suit that we were looking at earlier today. So let's open you up, open path. So I think I used this as a basis for an adventure suit that looks kind of like that. And the thing I'm really looking for is like stuff like this. I have another pattern. So I think I'm going to use this other pattern here. That, by the way, that one's not available anymore. I was just looking at Simplicity today, and that bodysuit pattern that we just looked at's gone. So I might use this pattern for starting the basis of my bodysuit. Let's just see if this kind of breaks down. See, there's the pattern pieces. And then from there, in Marvelous Designer, we'll kind of chunk out the design shapes on that. So style A, B, C, and D. Take a look. So I'm going to settle on a style here, right? We're going to want one that's going to sew down the front. You know what? I think I'm going to have a collar. Did I have a standing collar on the other one? I think I had a standing collar. Maybe A and B. Oh, no, that's the back. So I'm either going to go with C or D. Maybe we go with the D. Oh, and then these are ruffles, which we're not using. So it will have like a bodice, it will have like the leg parts, and then we'll have the arms. And then these are ruffle parts. What is 7? 7 is bodice front D. And it's just the difference here is the collar. So we'll do that in Marvelous Designer tomorrow. We'll start with this. We'll kind of block this pattern out, and we'll do that by drawing on the avatar. And I think with this, I still have to chop up material zones. So I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet. But we'll see. I'm getting a little bit of more roundness in here than I really wanted. Let's see if we can fix that. I'm in object mode, I'm in edit mode. Are you two? You're creased. Do I need to crease these? Did I lose my... I just want to see the creases. Okay, I am not creased there and there. There's my problem. We're going to run a crease through there. A crease right in here. That's kind of what I wanted. I'm going to put a little bit of a curve in there. I'll just pop that in there. And then we can just slide this back. I think this will be fine. I'm probably going to add some details. Maybe just some bands. We'll see. I might do that with textures. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hit save on this. I'm gonna go, we got like 20 minutes, so let's make some grass. I've done grass before. I wonder if I got any grass OBJs or something. Grass blend. Let me see. I'm searching over here on... Let's spell grass with a R instead of glass. Grass blend. Nope. Grass node blend. I have something in my plants. Grasses in projects, landscapes. Let's take a look at that. You know what? I do have grasses. I'm gonna save you somewhere. I think, where did I get this texture from? I think we'll play with these. And are you from ambient or are you from... Either way, if it's ambient or textures, I can use either of those. But let me see if I actually labeled this or something weird like that. I can't read that. Foliage 001 1K. That might be from ambient. Let's just double check. Ambient CG. Here, we'll just go all assets. So these are public domain. I think that's it right there. Does that say foliage? Yeah, that's definitely what I used. Foliage 001. There we go. Are the assets really free for any purpose? Yes. All assets are released under the Creative Commons CC0 license, making them free to use without attribution or in commercial circumstances. So, all right, I got grasses. I just have to figure out, I'm just going to make some arrangements here and we'll export out and I'm going to track down some stuff. I'm going to look for where foliage 001 is. And kind of, at some point, I'm actually going to make sets. So this will come in handy. So you're in projects, landscapes. And those are those right there. And apparently I've UV mapped this nicely. Okay. And that's kind of a grass group. And you know what? I'm just going to play with mixing up grass groups. Let's just shift D, move that. We'll just get rid of some of this stuff. I'll just set you back to, why is my meeting point over there? Let's do this. Set origin to geometry. And I'll bring you over here. I might be able to save these out as FBXs. Is that the same one? That looks like the same one. Are you just the same one twisted different ways? That would be the Chris Cox way of doing things. I'm going to make a grass object out of these. So we're going to give it a little bit of a bend. I'm going to, let's put you all on the origin. Did you all not move at once? Is that what happened? Nope, just one of you moved. Why? No, because you're not joined together. There we go. That's better. Oops. So what I'm trying to do is grab those and then deselect that and then move that out of the way. And then we can play with this. Drag that down a little bit. Scale a couple of these a wee bit. All right, happy with that. I should start organizing this. Like grass 001, and we should maybe just, you know what, let's put you over here, and then we'll make a copy of that. And then I grabbed the wrong thing, didn't I? And then join you all together. Let's try that joining all together thing again. There we go. And then can we just put you back to the, kind of. And let's make a new collection. I'll call this finals. And I'm going to rename these 001 and so on and so forth. That'll be let's put a little space in there. Oh no. Why do you think? Is there a point in here somewhere? Oh, you know what? You're not. No mesh to join. Okay, that's better. I think if I do this. Why am I no longer seeing numbers? Oh, transform. Actually, shut transform down. There's my problem. Why are you over there? That's what I don't understand. Maybe I have to just accept all the transforms. That's probably it. See, now you're in the wrong spot. That's probably good. Let's hide you. Let's set you into the ground like that just a little bit. Let's put you into the finals collection. Let's call you Grass 003. I'm going to try to get like 6 of these, and then we'll pop over into Daz and see how this is looking. So, you know what? We can put you back. That's probably good. Hide you. Move you. And I probably should save this so I can pull it into other. I'm going to bend these first, and then we'll save it. And I can kind of use those to block out the bottoms of maybe palm trees and things. Move you to the finals collection. Call you Grass 004. Hide you. Grab all of these. Accept all the transforms. Center it up. Looking good. Move that into the finals. Call you 005. You know what? I think I'm going to live with 5 for today. So here, let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to just grab all of those and then save as selected FBX or something like that. Export FBX, because I think FBX will let me bring them in and then separate them out in whatchamacallit. My these are going to break. I'll readjust them. I'm going to move this over into my palm tree folder, I think is what I'm going to do. Because this is kind of where I've been working with all of these, I think. Palms, there's the ferns. What happened to the, oh, is it over in here? No. Where did my weird plant that I just did the other day? Anyhow, you know what? I'm just going to export that right there. Selected objects, export that. We have Daz lurking around in the background here. Let's do an import. Projects, plants, palms, and that should be, I did it right there, right? And this will probably break the maps, I think. I don't know if I do that. Are those too small? Probably not. That's probably a good size. But they came in individually. That's what I like about FBX. Although the textures need some loving. So those are the 5. We can fix these textures really quick. And then I think I'm going to call it a day right about here. We're coming up on 4. We still got a few minutes, but I'm going to bail out just a little early today, I think. We'll see who's on. All right, got my grass selected. I'm just going to put my generic shader on here because it just makes things easier to work with. Boom, yeah. And then we can just apply all of our textures from the foliage. So I'm going to just take you, I'm going to move you over to the palm tree folder for now. And I was looking for plants, wasn't I? And am I in the right one? I am. So why don't I see my plants in here? There it is. I'm just going to stick that down in here. And I don't need that, but we're going to use these. So I'm going to kind of set that right there. And then we do the dragging and the dropping. There's no metallicity with those, so I can just turn you to 0. Actually, I'm going to put a black map. Because I'm trying to think, you know, the easy way, if I want to save this to Blender and it has a black map in metallicity, it will, I think it will read that. If it just has a value, I'm not sure if it'll read it or not. But I think if I'm just using maps instead of values for everything, that might work out a little bit better. But I'm going to actually, you know, I'm going to rebuild that later. So for today, we're just going to dial metallicity to like that. Never mind. Color in there. We got our roughness goes over there. I got my normal GL. I think that's the wrong normal. I think I wanted a normal. No, I wanted that. That's right. That's the right normal. DirectX and GL. I forget what GL stands for, but I think that's what we're using. I can use a displacement map. Actually, I'm going to use the displacement map in the height channel. Oh no, Control Y. There we go. I inadvertently hit Control Z. It caused some chaos. Displacement. You're just going to go into there. That was roughness. I don't know what you're doing. Let's try this again. Yeah, you're just after I broke it. Now Daz is confused. Frickin' Daz. What a frickin' loser. You I don't need. Cut out opacity. That. And I think we still have our color in here. And I think this is how my grass is going to look. Take a quick look at that. So I've got my ferns. I got my monstera or whatever you call it, palm trees. I think I want, and I've got my grass now. I think I might want one more plant, but maybe not. Maybe I'll just get by with the 3 for my tropical resort pool settings. Anyhow, it's coming along. I still want to rework the palm tree texture a little bit, I think. Other than that, hey, so we made boots today. I don't know, are they still around? So we made our boots today for another outfit, which is basically sci-fi. It's going to have a belt. It's going to undo down the front. I think long sleeves. And I'm thinking I'm going to pirate the gloves out of the Starheart outfit and add those to this set. Rework those a little bit. So that's what we got going here. So I think tomorrow we're going to work on the 7 p.m. stream on Tuesday. We'll work on doing the bodysuit using a Simplicity bodysuit pattern or cat suit. I don't know what Simplicity actually calls it. Anywho, thank you all for being here. It was good to see you. Let's give Charles that shout out. And let's see who is working with us. Who is on today. So let's close everything down. Oh yeah, and happy National Bagel Fest. Have a bagel. And with that, who is on? So if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Although I don't know. YouTube is acting funny. And I don't know why. Excuse me while I eat this fly. Where's YouTube? I lost my YouTube. That's my Twitch. Are you my YouTube? You're the YouTube. Did anything happen in the YouTube chat? I'm getting notifications. Go away. Arg. I can't. Frickin'. View my channel. I'm sorry. I'm taking a look at what's going on with the YouTube. That was the wrong thing. There it is. I'm live. I see bagels. I see nothing happening in the chat. Windsor O'Tired. Oh, hey, Windsor, Ontario birds. I see them over there. Yo, Ruscular, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for shouting out Ruscular. Check out our good friend Ruscular. I've caught you doing music recently. I think you've been playing the saxophone. Is that it? On top of your fitness streams that you typically do in the afternoons. So give Ruscular a follow. Try to check him out if he's doing music too. And for some reason, my chat's not talking to YouTube anymore. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. YouTube probably killed my bot or something. I got to hunt this down. Anyhow, let's find, if you're on Twitch, let's find somebody. Oh, you're finishing up and you go home this evening. Yay. Where are we at? I'm over here. Nope, I'm over here. I'm over there. Let's see who's on Twitch today. So you know me, we're going down to the bottom and we're working our way back up. I see call sign Scarecrow's on. Always a good time with call sign Scarecrow, but let's see if we've got any of the art friends. You want to check out call sign Charles? Is that what you're saying? Are you just looking for people that I know? And Dominic, why do I? You know what? I might just. No, Blux is on. Blux is on again. Yeah, let's go say hi to our good friend Blux. Blux is a close art buddy, so we'll do that. Thank you all for being here. Hey, we have raid calls. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to copy that. If you are a subscriber, you can use the sub raid call. And with that, let's do this. Like I said, I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for making a bodysuit. Bluxify. There we go. Did that work? So I hope you all have a good rest of a Bagelfest Monday. And I don't know if you're on the happy side of the planet, what national day it is for you. Anyhow, did I do the slash raid? I did do the slash raid. It's counting out. I'm going to copy a raid call. And with that, we're going to call it a stream. So, hasta la vista, baby.